the Qur'an and modern science a miracle from Allah. For centuries people have wondered, how did we come into existence? What is our origin? And does religion truly align with modern science? Today we will explore an incredible discovery: how the Qur'an, revealed over 1400 years ago, describes human development in ways that perfectly match modern embryology, biology, and medical science. This is not just an interesting topic, it is a miracle from Allah. Let's begin with one of the most fascinating scientific revelations in the Quran: how a human is formed in the womb. This is explained in Surah Al-Mu'minun verses 12 to 14. And certainly did we create man from an extract of clay. Then we placed him as a sperm drop Nutfah in a firm lodging. Then we made the sperm drop into a clinging clot Alaqah, and we made the clot into a lump Mudghah, and we made from the lump bones Izam, and we covered the bones with flesh. Then we developed him into another creation. So blessed is Allah, the best of creators. 23:12-14. Now let's compare this with modern science. Stage 1. Nutfah, sperm drop in a secure place. Science confirms that the fertilized egg implants securely inside the uterus, exactly as the Quran describes. Stage 2. Alaqah, clinging clot leech-like form. In week 2, the embryo literally clings to the uterine wall, just as the word Alaqah means. Surprisingly, at this stage, the embryo also resembles a leech and feeds on the mother's blood, matching the Quran's description perfectly. Stage 3. Mudghah, chewed-like lump. By week 4, the embryo has somites, which give it a chewed-like appearance just like the Quran describes. Stage 4. Izam, cartilage system and flesh covering. Science confirms that the cartilage system, precursor to bones, forms first, then muscles and flesh develop around it. During this stage, Izam refers to the cartilage framework which later hardens into actual bones. The Quran's order is scientifically correct. Conclusion: modern embryology, only discovered in the last 100 years, confirms every stage described in the Quran 1400 years ago, a miracle that could not have been known at that time. The Quran also states that humans were created from soil. But does this match science? And certainly did we create man from an extract of clay? 23-12. O people, if you are in doubt about the resurrection, then consider that we created you from dust. 22-5. Science confirms that the human body is made of the same elements found in soil, such as oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, calcium, phosphorus, potassium, and iron. While the percentages differ, the fundamental materials are identical. This is another scientific miracle of the Quran. He created you in the wombs of your mothers, creation after creation in 3 layers of darkness. Science confirms that the fetus is surrounded by 3 distinct layers. 1. Mother's abdominal wall, 2. Uterine wall womb layers, and 3. Amniotic sac and placenta. This knowledge was not available in the 7th century, yet the Quran describes it perfectly. Criticism 1. The Quran calls the embryo a blood clot, but science says it's not a real clot. Clarification. The Arabic word Alaqah does not only mean blood clot. Science confirms that the embryo clings to the uterus just as the Quran states. The early embryo has stagnant blood before circulation starts, giving it a clot-like appearance under a microscope. No contradiction, just a misunderstanding of Arabic. Criticism 2. The Quran says bones form before muscles, but science says they form together. Clarification. The Quran states that bones, Izam, are formed before they are covered with flesh. Critics assume this means fully developed bones come first, which science disproves. However, science confirms that a cartilage model of bones forms first, followed by muscle development. Later, ossification occurs, turning cartilage into hardened bones. The scientific sequence confirms, or cartilage appears first, then muscles form around it, or fetal development stages align with modern embryology. The Quran is using broad terminology to describe the major observable stages, rather than microscopic processes. This completely refutes the criticism because the order in the Quran, cartilage, muscle, bone hardening, is scientifically accurate. Criticism 3. The Quran copied Greek embryology from Galen. Clarification. Galen's theory contained errors such as believing the fetus forms from male sperm and menstrual blood. The Quran avoids these mistakes and provides a scientifically correct description. If the Quran copied Galen, it would have also copied his errors, but it didn't. The Quran describes scientific facts that were only discovered in the last 100 years. But how could a man in the 7th century have known all this? The answer is simple. This is a miracle from Allah. The Quran is not a book of science, but a book of guidance from the Creator of the universe. If you found this video amazing, like, share, and subscribe to spread this knowledge. And remember, Islam is the truth and the Quran is the word of Allah.